is inquiring from Maitreya Rishi, and Maitreya Rishi is answering the questions of Vidurji. In this few shlokas, the process of creation, how the world is created, is mentioned by Mahatma Vidur here, by Vidurji, by Maitreya Rishi here. So the shloka is on the screen. You can repeat after me. Kala Mayamsa Yogena Bhagavad Vikshitam Navaha Navaso Anusrutam Sparsham Vikurvam Nirmame Anilam. So the whole shloka is, I will recite for benefit of all of us. Kalamayamsha yogena Bhagavad Vikshitam Nabha Navaso Anusrutam Sparsham Vikurvan Nirmani Anilam. Translation. Kala is the time, Maya is the energy, our external energy, Amsha Yogena, partly mixed with Bhagavad, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vikshitam, glanced over, Nabha, sky, Nabhashaha, from the sky, Anustratam, being so contacted, Sparsham, touch, Vikurvat, being transformed, Nirmame was created, Anilam is air. Translation. Thereafter, the personality of Godhead glanced over the sky, partly mixed with eternal time and external energy, and thus developed the touch sensation from which air in the sky was produced. So after creation of Mahatattva, and from the Mahatattva, the three modes of nature and ego was created. Then here, the further creation is mentioned here. Prabhupada writes in the purport, all material creations takes place from subtle to gross. The entire universe has developed in that manner. From the sky developed the touch sensation, which is a mixture of eternal time, the external energy, Maya, and the glance of personality of Godhead. The touch sensation developed into the air in the sky. Similarly, all other gross matter also developed from subtle to gross. Sound developed into sky. Touch developed into air. Form developed into fire. Taste developed into water. And smell developed into earth. So here, various creations are mentioned here. So touch sensation comes from the air actually. So subtle to gross. Subtle means the thing which we cannot see it, but it exists. It's called subtle. So from the sky, which is subtle, comes the touch sensation. When the sky is mixed with eternal time and the Maya Shakti, then we develop the touch sensation. And along with that, there is a glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Similarly, the sound also is developed into sky. So touch developed from air. The form is developed into fire. The taste comes from water and the smell comes from earth. So all the elements are created by Lord Krishna. In the next sloka, further process of creation is mentioned. Anilo api vikurvano nabha Navasorupalanvitaha Sasarja Rupa Tanmatram Jyotirlakshya. Thereafter, the extremely powerful air interacting with the sky generated the form of sense perception. And the perception of form transformed into electricity, the light to see the world. So this was initially explained by Srila Prabhupada, that how Lord Krishna created. So here is saying extremely powerful air. How powerful is air? Air can uproot the big buildings actually. When the tornado comes, it can uproot everything. I was seeing one documentary where they were showing that tornado can hundreds and thousands of pounds of trucks, big trucks, heavy trucks, they flow like paper. But air is very powerful. So this air interacting with the sky generated the form of sense perception. And form transformed into electricity or fire. So Anila api vikurvana navasa urubala anvita. Urubala is extremely powerful. Sasarja rupa tatamatram jyoti lokshya lochanam. Lochanam means to see the eyes. So then further process of creation is mentioned here in 35. Anilena vitam jyotir vikurvat paravikshitum adham adhatma rasamayam kalamayam sayogita. When the electricity was charged into air and was glanced over by the Supreme Lord, at that time, by the mixture of eternal time and external energy, there occurred the creation of water and the test. So electricity with air and by the supreme will, with the time, there was creation of water. And along with the creation of water, there was a creation of taste also.
Water has no taste.
Water has a taste actually. Every water has a taste. But science says that water is a tasteless, odorless, colorless substance. But every water has a special taste. Like if you go and drink the water from Himalaya, it is a very special taste. The water coming from the tap water has a taste. Water you buy from market has a taste. Every water has a different taste. So further, Jyoti Shambho Anusprashtam Vikurvad Brahma Vikshitam Mahigandha Gunanada Kalamayam Sayogata. Translation. Thereafter, the water produced from the electricity was glanced over by the Supreme Personality of Godhead and mixed with the eternal time and external energy. Thus, it was transformed into earth, which is qualified primarily by the smell. So then, after the fire, then the electricity, then senses here, water and taste. And then from water came the earth also. And then it was transformed to earth. From the description of physical elements in above verses, it is clear that in all stages the glance of Supreme Lord is needed, with other additions and alterations. In every transformation, the last finishing touches is the glance of the Lord, who acts as a primary painter when he mixes different colors to transform them into a particular color. When one element mixes with another, the number of qualities increases. For example, the sky is the cause of air. The sky also has one quality, namely the sound. But by interaction of sky with the glance of Lord mixed with time and external nature, the air is produced, which has two qualities, sound and touch. You see, Prabhupada is explaining here now. Okay, so the sky has the sound, okay, and then when Lord mixes the sky with the material nature and his glands, then air is produced. So what is the quality of air? Air has sound and the touch. Air can touch your body, right? The sky has only sound, but then the air which is produced from the sky has touch and the sound both. Now similarly, after the air is created, the interaction of sky and air touched by the time, external energy of Lord and Lord's glance, of course, it produces electricity. So electricity is produced by the air. How? So by interaction of Lord's external energy and by the glance of Lord himself, right? Next, the interaction of electricity with air and sky mixed with time, external energy and the Lord's glance produces water. So electricity comes water. And in the final stage of electricity means fire, from fire comes the water. And in the final stage of sky, there is one quality, namely the sound. In the air, there are two qualities, sound and touch. In fire, there are three qualities, sound, touch, and form. And the water has four qualities, sound, touch, form, and taste. And in the last stage of physical development, the result is earth, which has five qualities, sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. What a beautiful explanation, isn't that? So you see, one by one sense perception is being developed. So first is sky, which has only the sound. Then comes air, which has sound and touch. Then comes fire, which has sound, touch, and form. Then comes water, sound, touch, form, and taste. And then comes the earth, the final element, which has which has uh, form, which has a touch, which has smell, which has uh, sound, and which is also so sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. So you see, Bhumi, Apo, Anolo, Vayu. These are the five elements. Bhumi means earth, Apaha, water, Anala, air, Vayu is air, and Bhumi, Apaha, Analo, Vayu, Khamaha. Khama is the sky. So in this way you can see that all the elements are created. Although they are different mixtures of different materials, such mixtures do not take place automatically. Just as mixture of colors doesn't take place automatically without a touch of a living painter. So here you see different elements mixing by Lord Krishna and it produces different results. It's so beautifully explained by Srila Prabhupada.
Earth is still the same in this place.
Earth, earth is produced by Lord Krishna's external energy, and by Krishna's glance, the earth is produced. Hare Krishna. The automatic system is factually activated by the glancing touch of the Lord. Living consciousness is the final word in all physical changes. This fact is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita 9.10 as Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyase sacharacharan etunanena kaunteya jagataviparivardate. The conclusion is that the physical elements may work very wonderfully to layman's eyes, but their working actually takes place under the supervision of Lord Krishna. Those who can mark only the changes of physical elements and cannot perceive the hidden hands of Lord behind them are certainly less intelligent persons, although they may be advertised as great scientists. So here, this is very important, that everything in this world, all these mixtures of different subtle elements producing the gross elements, is happening under the supervision of Lord Krishna. Maya Adhyakshena Prakriti Asuyate Sa Chara Charana. So char and achara, moving and non-moving, everything is happening under the Prakriti, and Prakriti is acting under Krishna's supervision. Hetu Nanena Kaunteya Jagata Vipari Without will of Lord, nothing can happen. So there is a hand of Lord in everything. Whatever happens is because of Lord Krishna's desire. Okay. So with that, we'll pause here and we'll continue our study of Srimad Bhagavatam tomorrow again. But it's very beautiful explanation of various subtle and gross elements by Srila Prabhupada here.